Welcome to the Greatness Together podcast. Curious minds unite. Mother-daughter conversations that delve into the heart of psychology. Thanks for joining us.
Do we have to test it?
No, it's perfect.
What if it's not working?
This is my new system called
Is it actually?
It is. It's called You can't take life too seriously when you're using a business platform called
It's just like, what's that word? One is just like noises you make.
ASMR? No?
I don't know, but
We're using Simone, we're talking today about compliments.
You look great right now.
Do I?
Yeah.
Wow, how on brand and topic we are today.
Yes.
Thank you for the compliment. You actually look wonderful today too.
You're so kind to me.
I actually shouldn't have said actually because it made it sound like you actually.
Oh, yeah, why are you surprised that I look good, Mom?
I don't look surprised.
Yeah,
but you
okay.
knew that, which is why you accepted the compliment. Yeah.
Yeah.
But do you ever find though that it's not so easy to accept compliments?
I never know what to do. I feel so weird. And I usually like self-handicap. I'm like, oh, your hair looks so good. I'm like, thanks. I burnt it when I curled it this morning.
Yeah, we kind of shake off the compliment. Like, why do you think that is though? Why do you think we are so quick? Because you're not the only one. I sometimes do it. People tell me in my audiences when I talk about recognition that they feel kind of uncomfortable sometimes receiving recognition. Why do you think that's a thing?
I don't know. Maybe it's like we don't want to seem like a narcissist or something. Like we don't want to take it in, or maybe we don't believe it ourselves. Don't know. Different for everyone, but I think we all do it. Happens to the best of us.
And I love how your generation, everything's about narcissism. I see narcissism around every corner. I definitely think humility.
Yeah.
Yes, I definitely think humility. It's almost like people are afraid to be seen as a narcissist, egotistical, not humble.
Yeah. It's like, I don't know. When I see people take in compliments, I don't think of them as like a narcissist, but then it's like, oh, if I do this, then I'm an ego freak. But I think you have to be at a very confident level to fully accept it and say, like, what does that even mean? Accepting a compliment, like saying thank you, giving a compliment back.
You accepted a compliment really well. For me, I accepted it well. I think giving a compliment back is also a nice, sweet treat.
Yeah, whenever I give someone a compliment and they don't compliment me back, I'm like, oh,
ooh,
that was rude.
Awkward. I agree with you that part of the complicating factor is also, do we feel we deserve it? There are definitely years. I wish I could just say days, but years, maybe even decades. Where
centuries.
I have had centuries as an alive person for centuries.
That's impressive.
That I know. I've eaten a lot of carrots. I have had a hard time receiving compliments, and I recognize that it's a gift, and compliments don't come with a gift receipt. So I need to make sure that I receive it. But also, I think I've gotten over some of my impostor syndrome. Do you know this concept?
Like where you fall in love with your kidnapper?
Ooh, no. That's, I think, Stockholm Syndrome.
Oh. Same thing.
But if I was kidnapped by somebody who complimented me,
you feel good about it.
I'd probably fall in love with them.
Oh.
I mean, I've never in my centuries of being on this earth ever been kidnapped, so I don't really know from my own lived experience, and hopefully never will in the next century that I'm alive. Knock on wood. But so imposter syndrome, it's actually something that we learned about in, not in psychology, in coaching school where people feel like they're not worthy enough. They're not deserving. And they kind of have this like inner gremlin. It's got about the maturity of an 8-year-old. And yet we as grown-ups listen to it. Even those of us centuries old may listen to it. And yet would we ever take life or business or academic advice from an 8-year-old? Maybe a super smart 8-year-old. But really, and yet we let that negative inner voice, that inner critic that has the maturity of an 8-year-old, tell us about if we're worthy or if we're measuring up. It kind of, when you break it down like that, it makes no sense, right?
Yeah, well, when I think of an 8-year-old accepting a compliment, they get all like in their own skin and they get all shy and they're like, oh.
Really?
Yeah, like...
I think I was probably a gregarious 8-year-old.
When you were an 8-year-old and someone said, you have pretty eyes, you go, thank you, sir.
I mean, I don't really remember being an 8-year-old. However, I think kids are actually pretty able to receive them. I think it's once we become tweens and teens. I don't know. I could be wrong. You're the one studying developmental psychology, not me.
And I was going to say, you're the parent, not me. So I haven't had my cut of 8-year-old experience. So
I have seen 2
you might be more accurate.
8-year-olds for an entire year in my household.
I don't, what grade is an 8-year-old? I don't even know. Like, when I imagine 8-year-old, I imagine this
grade 2, 3?
Little tiny kid.
Grade 2 or 3.
Okay.
Like, you're not super jaded by the time you're 8. But like, even if we kind of look at it maturity wise though, an 8-year-old has had very limited lived experience. Mm-hmm. And so if we have like the maturity level of an 8-year-old, and that's this imposter syndrome, right? Where somebody like a low maturity inner negative voice is saying, are you sure you deserve that? You should probably throw that compliment right back. And yet compliments are a mirror to how other people see us. So if somebody says, wow, like you look really great. You look so confident. You look so polished, Simone. You're obviously showing up as confident, polished. Even if you don't feel it in that moment, you don't have to be like, oh no, I'm not. No. I burnt my hair. I just ran here. Mm-hmm. Like, you don't have to like reveal I don't know if you ever are feeling like, oh, I haven't earned every single drop of that compliment.
Mm-hmm. It's like, oh, I really should have earned it. Like if my hair actually was nice, it should have been like naturally nice. Like it shouldn't have had to have been curled. Right. It's like, oh, this isn't naturally me. So I'm not going to accept it. It's like, but you still look good,
Because people don't see what goes in behind it. They're not like, but did you work hard on it? They're probably, again, also it's that other way of looking at it. Like, wow, look how hard you work to show up looking her beautiful self. That's the beautifulness on the inside is now also on the outside. Mm-hmm. It's a wonderful way to gauge and know how you're showing up in the world, which is why I kind of feel like we have a responsibility to accept other people's acknowledgments of us. What if them seeing us at our best were the truth? Of what they know something about us that maybe we are hesitant to acknowledge in us. Like you're saying, I don't know if I've earned it yet because it would be natural or because it would be effortless or because insert, high expectation standard here. But what if in fact them recognizing something in us, not only were they seeing something of worthiness, that we get a chance to believe their publicity about us.
Yeah, true.
You're taking it in?
I am taking it in.
Are you letting it sink in?
I'm trying to think of the deeper reason behind like not accepting compliments, but I'm half asleep right now.
I don't know. You know what? Maybe maybe we're cracking the code on why are we so quick to shake off compliments. Maybe you're like, yeah, actually, why is it so hard? Maybe it's not that you're not awake. Maybe it actually makes no sense.
Like it's easier than it should be. Like it doesn't make sense that we brushed them off because you should just like accept them. Is that what you mean?
What if you went around your entire day receiving compliments everywhere it came and letting it sink in, Simone?
And giving them, because they're an amazing conversation starter.
Yes.
Love a good compliment conversation starter.
I think it would be easier to receive if we gave more compliments unconditionally, no strings attached. We receive them. We exchange them. As you said, if you give one, you get one back. What if today were your compliment and my compliment-centric day? Mm-hmm. Should we issue that challenge to each other?
Mm-hmm. Let's do it. Yeah, you can always make a day with a smile, with a compliment, with a recognition.
I kind of feel like that would make your day and other people's day. That would make my day and other people's day. Like, I often challenge audiences to develop a thank you habit. And I don't often include a complimenting specifically. Mm-hmm. That's like a niche area in the recognition world. But I actually think that that's a super specific, yummy part of the recognition habit.
Definitely.
To just put out little compliments out there in the world, be unattached, see how they land, and receive them.
I'm going to do that. I'm going to implement that.
Are you going to be a queen implementer?
Yeah, learn from the best. Are you?
I am going to give them and receive them.
To all the people that you socialize with in the barn?
In all the plants and all the furniture sitting here in my barn.
It's a good way to start.
Yeah, but you know what? I do have a lot of meetings with clients.
There you go.
And my team.
There you go.
You know, I tend to be on the complimenty side of things anyway, but I'm excited to have an even greater intention though today. Here's the other thing I'm going to do. I'm going to send 10 thank you cards today through my send out cards thank you card system.
Aww.
And send a compliment to people just because.
Solo porque.
What does that mean?
Just because.
Just because. Just because. So this is really yummy. And I actually already have the idea for a future podcast. And I think it kind of gets at this. Mm-hmm. Can I float the idea by you? Okay. And then our listeners will just have to tune in to see if the idea not only was received, but also took flight.
Yeah.
Took float. Yes, because I'm floating the idea. Is about identity versus abilities. I feel like if we also acknowledge the many abilities we had, rather than just the doing, but the being who we are, I feel like it would make it easier to receive compliments.
Doing the being, ability of who you are, choo-choo train, floating submarine.
Blah, blah, blah.
Okay.
Why don't I flesh out the idea more?
I'm sure that will sink in like 20 minutes as I'm driving to school, as I'm more stimulated.
You know what? We'll see if I can flesh this idea out so that it makes for a little bit more cohesive suggestion.
Yeah, ask ChatGPT to put it in simpler words.
Yeah.
Ask ChatGPT to explain it as if they were explaining it to a 7-year-old.
Oh.
I am that 7-year-old.
Or to a 20-year-old, which is what you are.
I am not 20, Mother.
Oh, you're almost 20.
That's weird.
Isn't it?
Oh my goodness.
You're not in the teens anymore. Soon.
That's really not okay. I mean, you're in the centuries. So.
I am in the centuries. I am one with being in the what would that be? The 3 digits?
How
the
was
triple
the
digits?
Cold War?
Oh, I wasn't alive back that long.
When was the Cold War?
I don't actually know. I'm not a history
Was it
person.
cold?
I don't know. You're asking. See, now you're getting my brain working in ways that it's not supposed to. Thanks, Simone, for this little chitty chat.
Oh, anytime. Right back at you. It was so good to get compliments.
And you know what, Simone? I'm gonna send a compliment your way. I appreciate how flexible you are, that we were able to add in this beautiful little conversation in between many things you have happening in your day. And you showed up open-mindedness and curious. And I think it was a really yummy little convo. So thank you.
Oh, thank you for preparing it and also taking time out of your busy day and accommodating around my exams and especially doing some work that I usually am supposed to do because I am examining right now and getting at the top of my class. It's a hard priority. It's a hard commitment.
Yeah.
But I got to be in that top 99 percentile or you won't feed me.
That is true. That is true. My love and support are that conditional. If you're not in the top 99 percentile, you're dead to me.
Oh. I didn't know we were that far, but
thank you for your compliment. I receive it and I appreciate it. And you are not dead to me. That was just a joke.
Okay.
Okay. Simone, thank you. You are half of the Greatness Together podcast. And you're my number one gal.
Right back at you, other half.
Take care, everybody. Compliment on. Finger guns. Thanks so much for joining us for the Greatness Together podcast. Never miss an episode. Subscribe wherever you catch your podcasts. Yours in greatness, Simone and Sarah.